Hi, guys. Welcome to the recap show. Today's movie recap will cover a 2019 mystery thriller movie named Drawn into the Night. Sit back, grab a drink, and enjoy. The movie starts with three high school girls, Deborah Moore, Jen Bennington, and Casey Cooper, who sneak out from the Belmont Cheerleader High School at night for a party. While Deborah stays behind to tie her shoelaces, she gets attacked by someone with a spade. Jen and Casey hear Deborah scream and decide not to go back as they don't want to get caught. However, as soon as they move forward, they get trapped. The next scene opens at a police station, where Detective Maggie shares her breakup story with her colleague named Amanda, who tells her that Maggie's ex boyfriend Tommy wasn't a common man, but a popular cop in narcotics. Maggie says that she had to break up with him because Tommy was intent on marrying her, which she didn't think was right yet. Just then, Maggie receives a call from her boss named Detective Vigliera, who calls all the staff members to the briefing room. He tells everyone about the disappearance of the three high school girls and decides to send Maggie to that high school posing as a student to find out any important clues to the case. In the next scene, at Belmont High School, students are excited about going to the rave. A group of cool girls take the flyers of the rave that are being distributed among the students and then get to know the results of the science test by Mr. Reed, who tells Tina that she has scored very well. He seems to be interested in her, and he lets Brittany know about her awful grade. Brittany comes from a rich family and she's the most popular girl in school. Every girl wants to be a part of her company. The group spots the new student Maggie, who poses at school as Kate. She gets bothered by Brittany but doesn't react and leaves after pissing the janitor off. Later, the girls get ready for the hockey match. Maggie is believed to be an awesome hockey player when she was in high school, and so she gets the chance to show her talent again. One of the players, named Lauren, who is also a member of Brittany's group, takes permission to go get her inhaler from the locker. After she takes it, the janitor who has been hiding around appears to change the flyers to a different place. Meanwhile, Brittany gets frustrated to see Kate playing very well. She decides to make Brooke purposely hit her while playing, which results in Kate stumbling upon the bleachers. After the match, Lauren apologizes to Kate for what Brooke did with her. The girls attempt to befriend Kate and invite her to the party, asking her to drive them to the venue. Lauren also tells her to pick her first before picking the other girls. Kate agrees, and while leaving the school, she's met by Tommy, who is waiting for her just outside. She asks him to go away before anyone can notice anything strange between them. Brittany and her friends find it weird when they see an elderly guy stalking Kate. However, the thing gets over when Tina decides to go with Randy, who is a handsome single guy in school. Later, in the evening, Kate appears at Lauren's home and gets introduced to her brother, Tyler, and his friend Bobby. Lauren's parents are about to leave for the bar, but they behave in a very disgusting manner, which makes Lauren feel ashamed before Kate. The two girls go to Lauren's room where Kate is told that she hasn't dressed properly for the kind of party they're going to. Lauren dresses her up and also does her makeover. Kate comes to know that all of the expensive dresses which Lauren owns are Brittany's rejected belongings. Kate feels pity for her and tells her that she is a very good and beautiful girl. Lauren tells her that she is single and she wishes for a charming prince who would come and take her out of her miserable home. In the next scene, Brooke is shown getting ready at Brittany's home. The two girls hide their party dresses inside their bags and dress formally in front of Brittany's parents, who think that the girls are going for a sleepover at Lauren's home. Brittany takes a lot of money from her father, saying that Lauren's parents cannot afford expensive snacks. Next, Brittany is pissed to see Kate's outdated car. Meanwhile, Tyler and Bobby, who have secretly stolen the party's address, decide to go and have fun there. On their way, the group stops to buy themselves some drinks and snacks. While they're inside, two guys stalk them, and then one of them, named Ronnie, hides inside their car, while the other guy, named Ray Ray, attempts to bother Lauren. Kate gets him outside the shop and tells the girls to get into the car. They arrive at the given address and are shocked to find a weird, dark, empty place. They get out of the car and look around while Brooke goes to relieve herself. She suddenly hears someone approaching her, and before she could call any of her friends, she loses her balance and falls. The other three girls hear her shout, and Kate decides to look for her, asking others to get into the car for safety. She calls Tommy but cannot talk to him because of weak signals. She eventually finds fallen Lauren, but before she could help her out, she gets knocked out by the janitor with a spade. Meanwhile, Tina spots Tommy and recognizes that he is the same guy who was stalking Kate after school. Tommy talks to her and convinces her to take him to the secret party as he needs to find Kate. In the next scene, Brittany and Lauren are very much frightened. Suddenly, Ronnie appears, who has been hiding under the back seat. The girls freak out and try to run. Lauren manages to run away, but Brittany is caught and soon knocked by Ronnie with the help of a taser. Meanwhile, Lauren, who ran off, is knocked out after hitting a current carrying wire. After that, the girls are taken to a barn in the middle of a dark forest. Ray Ray, Ronnie, and the janitor lock up the girls in the cages. Meanwhile, it is shown that Tyler and Bobby arrive in the dark spot of the forest with the expectation to see the girls at the party. It is revealed that Ray Ray, Ronnie, and the janitor work under a boss who watches everybody arriving in the forest through CCTV. In the next scene, Ronnie forcibly takes one of the girls he had formerly kidnapped, who happens to be one of the cheerleading camp members. As soon as he leaves the barn with the girl, Kate comes up with the idea of releasing the girls from the cages with the help of a bobby pin. She makes Lauren run away, who is too afraid to do anything on her own. But after that, Ronnie shows up and the rest of the girls are put back into their cages. Ronnie then takes Kate and Brittany to a different place, where they are both freaked out by a roaring, shackled girl. Next, it is shown that Lauren takes refuge in a barn where the janitor comes looking for her. When the janitor finds no sign of her, he leaves the barn. Meanwhile, Bobby looks around the forest and finds Jen with tape on her mouth and tied to a tree in the forest. As he goes closer, Ronnie attacks with an axe from behind and finishes him on the spot. He then imitates Jen, who mourns in fear. After a while, Tyler, who has come to look for Bobby, sees his body and Ronnie with Jen. He immediately runs away, but Ronnie, with his axe, goes after him. Meanwhile, when Tina doesn't find her group members, she gets into a fight with a junior of her school at the party. In the next scene, Lauren is seen escaping the forest and she comes across a luxurious car. The men inside get her into the car and they don't seem to have good intentions. Suddenly, Tyler, who has been running away from Ronnie, gets hit by the car and is knocked out. One of the men gets out of the car, while Lauren also tries to escape, but the other man holds her back forcibly. Ronnie and the rich man pick up Tyler and put him in the trunk. Back at the party, Tommy finds out that Kate's group has been given a different address of the party. He immediately takes Randy with him and moves towards that place. On their way, Tommy calls his colleague to raid the place where the high school students are having a party. Randy is surprised to know that Tommy is a cop. In the next scene, Ronnie takes Tyler into the barn and Lauren is freaked out to see him. After that, Kate is taken to the ring for a fight before a huge crowd of rich people who have come to bet on the winner. Kate is made to fight against the shackled woman. Both are forced to fight with each other by giving them electric shocks with tasers tied around their necks. Kate doesn't want to hurt the other woman, and she tries to stop her. However, the other woman wants to win. The two girls beat each other as hard as they can, and then they are given a weapon, which the woman grabs quickly and hits Kate. After a great struggle, Kate succeeds in finishing the woman off and becomes the new champion. She is then taken to the changing room and gets ready for the next fight. Meanwhile, Tommy and Randy arrive at the given address and find the empty vehicles around. After that, Ronnie and Ray Ray get a new fighter to fight against Kate that happens to be Brittany. Kate attempts to make her realize that they shouldn't be fighting each other, but Brittany gets frightened and begins fighting to save her life. They are given weapons that Brittany uses to attack her. Kate overpowers her and whispers in her ear to pretend that she has lost her life. Brittany does as Kate said and is then taken away by Ray Ray. Next, Ronnie is commanded to bring a competitive fighter into the ring this time. Meanwhile, Tyler manages to release the girls. Before Ronnie can come into the barn, they all pretend to be locked up. Tyler attacks him with the spade and then Lauren knocks him out eventually. She lets the other girls run away while she decides to be with Tyler, who is injured and cannot run. Meanwhile, Tommy and Randy arrive at the fence before the barns are situated. The boss is shown commanding to turn on the current through the fence. Tommy finds the girls on the other side of the fence, and Jen gets knocked out as soon as she touches it. Tommy then breaks the fence with his car, which results in trashing the front tires. He gets the girls into the car, and Randy falls in love with Jen at first sight. Tommy takes out his weapon and assures the girls that they are safe as the police will be arriving soon. Kate is seen attacking the janitor in the ring and struggles to fight with him. Meanwhile, the boss is seen collecting all his money and leaving the place. He then goes to see Brittany, and there it is revealed that the boss is Mr. Reed. Brittany asks him for help, thinking he has come to save them all. Tommy reaches the ring and frightens the crowd of rich people who had come to watch the fight match. He finishes the janitor off and rushes to save Kate. Ray Ray appears before the girls in Tommy's car, but is soon attacked by Brooke with a baseball bat, finishing him off eventually. After that, Mr. Reed threatens Kate and Tommy by holding Brittany at gunpoint. Tommy drops his weapon, and then Mr. Reed takes both the girls into his car and drives away. However, Tommy doesn't stop and follows him all along. Kate talks to Mr. Reed and tries to make him realize the awful things he has done to the young girls, but he doesn't listen to her and tells her how much more money he's been able to make through all this rather than just being a teacher at school. Meanwhile, the police arrive and save the other girls along with Tyler and Lauren. Tommy tries to hit Mr. Reed's car, and Kate, taking advantage of this, knocks him out with a taser. His car eventually falls and drowns deep into the river. Tommy rushes to save Brittany, but fails as he is unable to find the car. He then apologizes to Kate, who becomes emotional about losing Brittany, and the movie ends here. Thanks for watching, guys! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to receive future recaps.